Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the YouTube station identification of one of New Bedford, Massachusetts resident YouTubers. I am here live in my basement with the crazy Clooney Doo. No, I'm not Ken Ober, and this is not the game show of MTV Remote Control. This is WEML-TV Channel 77, episode number 70. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone had a great and wonderful week. Today is February the 27th, 2021, 8:37 a.m. We're near the end of February. My goodness. Already, and we're going to be going into March after tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of February. Amazing things how things work out, man. Snowstorm-free week. We have some little bit of rain, and it seems like next week the temperatures are going to be up in the 40s and 50s once again. We're not going to see any 60s and 70s till like probably late April, early May. That's fine. There's only 40s and 50 degree weather, even if it's low 60s, a little pop sprinkle of 60s here and there. That's just fine by me. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. I just finished watching the second episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury. I'm liking the storylines a little bit more, and we'll find out when the other 3 Rangers will be added to the already 3 Ranger cast. So right now it's just 3 Rangers. And this is the first time ever in Power Rangers history that the primary colors are not the Ranger colors. Actually, 2 of the 3 primary colors are there. No yellow in this one. So we'll have a lot of fun and see what happens in watching the Rangers over the years. But somebody come out with Beast Morphers on DVD, the whole series on DVD, so I can get it. Thank you very much. All right, let's do this. It's the weekly wrestling roundup of the WWE roundup, starting from the 21st of February to February 27th. This is the last roundup for February. March changes a lot of things. The Elimination Chamber, they had to kick off. Caleb Braxton interviewed Cesaro about his Elimination Chamber match. Cesaro is determined to win it, as he says. And then Charlie Caruso interviewed MVP, only for Billie Kay to interrupt him by showing off her resume to MVP. And then Keith Lee was injured by the attack by Bobby Lashley, so he wasn't medically cleared to compete at the United States title triple threat match involving him, Riddle, and the champ Bobby Lashley. So they had a fatal 4-way to determine the other participant in that matchup. Mustafa Ali of Retribution, John Morrison, Ricochet, and Elias went at it for that 3rd spot, and John Morrison ended up winning the match. Then the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view itself kicked off with the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, where the winner gets a chance to become Universal Champion to face Roman Reigns right after. It was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus King Corbin versus Jey Uso versus Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan. Cesaro and Bryan were the first 2 to start things off. First, the order of elimination goes with Corbin was the first one to be eliminated. Zayn was eliminated next. Owens was eliminated. Cesaro was eliminated, and then Daniel Bryan pinned Jey Uso to win the Elimination Chamber match. And then Roman Reigns came out, beat Bryan with no problem. But then Edge shows up spearing Roman Reigns, points at sign, the fireworks go off. So the first match of WrestleMania has been set, just like SmackDown's main event in WrestleMania this year, as a little bit more. I'll talk about that, as Edge will challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal title. But there's one more pay-per-view, that is FastLane. But before then, and then Bad Bunny was talking to Sonya Deville, and he got interrupted by The Miz. Bad Bunny did slap The Miz. Damian Priest shows up. And then the United States title was on the line. Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle versus John Morrison. And we have a new United States champion in Matt Riddle, bro. And he said, and he's really excited. He was celebrating corn dogs at the Elimination Chamber. And then another title match, the women's tag team title was on the line. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair to challenge Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And with Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax did win. It looks like Reginald screwed up, as Caleb Braxton did interview them, Banks and Bailey, before the match, and then Reginald interrupted him. What is up with Reginald? And then After Bobby Lashley lost the United States title, was very angry. The MVP and The Miz were talking about this. And then they had the WWE Championship matchup. Elimination Chamber, McIntyre defending against AJ Styles, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy. The order of elimination goes like this. Orton was eliminated. Then Kingston was next. Hardy was next to be eliminated. Sheamus was eliminated. And Styles was eliminated, but almost tore out the plexiglass from AJ Styles' pod. But Pierce ejects Omos from ringside. This giant Omos is something else, let me tell you. Then Drew McIntyre ended up pinning AJ Styles to retain his title. But Bobby Lashley, as the cage was lifted up, Bobby Lashley attacked Drew McIntyre. And then as McIntyre is trying to recuperate, The Miz cashes his money in the bank. We have a new WWE champion in The Miz. So congratulations to The Miz. But Miz's celebration could be cut short. As a celebration on Miz TV with John Morrison, with the new champ, The Miz, Bobby Lashley, the MVP, interrupt the proceedings and has 1 hour to answer Lashley's challenge. Lucha House Party and Riddle were talking about Riddle's victory last night. He decided to call the Eagle on the U.S. title, Travis. And then Riddle went one-on-one with John Morrison in a non-title match, which Riddle won. But we found out where Rhea Ripley is going, folks. Monday Night Raw. So I think it'll be the Raw after WrestleMania. If Asuka's still champion by then, I think you see Rhea Ripley challenge Asuka for the championship. I've got a hunch that you might see that happen. Sarah Schreiber interviewed both Bad Bunny and Damian Priest after Bad Bunny's success at SNL. And they catch R-Truth and the referee. And R-Truth was trying to get his title back. That means title number 50 will have to wait for a while as long as Bad Bunny was holding it. Miz complains to Adam Pearce about his dilemma. Adam Pearce says, hey, you got a decision to make. Time's ticking. The New Day faced Mason T-Bar, Retribution in a tag team match with the New Day picking up the victory. And Mustafa Ali was very upset at Retribution. And then Miz and Lashley had the ultimatum confrontation. Miz about to answer, then Braun Strowman shows up, says, hey, I want a shot at the title. I should be getting the shot. And then Shane McMahon shows up and said, nuh-uh, you're going to earn your shot. You're going to face Lashley tonight. Winner will face The Miz. And then Lashley attacks Strowman from behind. And then they have the Hurt Business, the tag team champions of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin face Lucha House Party. That's Grand Metalik and Lindsay Dorado, which the Hurt Business did pick up the victory in a non-title match. Damian Priest, Bad Bunny in his corner, faced Angel Garza. Damian Priest won at that one. But Akira Tozawa, Humberto Carrillo, Drew Gulak tried to take the 24/7 title, but failed thanks to Damian Priest attacking each and every one of those superstars. Orton addresses what happened last week that cost him the matchup to get the final spot in the Elimination Chamber, as far as, enter the Chamber match last in the Gauntlet match, and he ended up, it's sort of like a Papa Shango Ultimate Warrior thing. He vomited black ink. Ew. So I think The Fiend and Alexa Bliss been playing mind games with him. Charlotte and Asuka faced Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler in a non-title match. Jackson Baszler did pick up the victory, and then she was very frustrated, and she was upset with Ric Flair. Her father says, "Let me make a name for myself." Then Jeff Hardy went one-on-one with Sheamus. Sheamus did pick up the victory over Jeff Hardy, and then an interesting matchup: Naomi and Lana facing Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Naomi and Lana did pick up the victory in that matchup that will put them one step closer to the Women's Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles went one-on-one with Ricochet, which Styles did pick up the victory. And Bobby Lashley, while The Miz on commentary, beat Braun Strowman. And then Lashley both beat up on Strowman and The Miz. And then that match for the title is next week. Lashley, Miz. It's Lashley's time. Got a hunch. It's Lashley's time. All right, let's go down to past Wednesday Let's go this past Wednesday on NXT. Karrion Kross and Santos Escobar was a recap by Scarlett. Dexter Lumis went one-on-one with Johnny Gargano, with Lumis picking up the victory in the non-title matchup. William Regal was outside looking for Santos Escobar. And the MSK Dusty Cup recap. And when they wanted on, Mackenzie Mitchell attempted to interview MSK, but the Grizzled Young Veterans attacked MSK and breaking Wesley's hand. He's not medically cleared to compete, so I think the Grizzled Young Veterans are in crabby moods. Tyler Rush was supposed to go on with Leon Ruff, but thanks to Swerve attacking Leon Ruff, that was no contest. Bivens did talk to Ruff beforehand, and Isaiah Swerve Scott did attack Ruff. William Regal talked to Zoe Stark about a matchup with Io Shirai, a non-title matchup. And Mackenzie Mitchell went to go interview Zoe Stark, the newcomer, but the camera actually cut that off for some weird reason. I don't know what happened. A little botch there. Zoe Stark did go one-on-one with Io Shirai in a non-title match, with Io Shirai picking up the victory. Then Toni Storm came out to challenge Io Shirai. Shirai says, I accept. So in 2 weeks' time, technically a week from this coming Wednesday, there will be a women's title match in the Mae Young Classic rematch of 2018 with Io Shirai to defend against the Mae Young Classic winner of 2018, Toni Storm. Cameron Grimes tried to do that DiBiase bit where he made a kid dribble a basketball only for missing one moment. He tried it with one person. It didn't work. They got the money. He tried it the second time. Failed on there. Meanwhile, Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed The Way about what would happen. And he said, we're going to see family therapy and all that, as Austin Theory was like still looped. And then Indy Hartwell says Dexter Lumis is kind of hot. Oh boy, this is going to be... Dexter Lumis has got inside their heads. He has got inside their heads rent-free. Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano going nuts, ladies and gentlemen. Casey Catanzaro went one-on-one with Xia Li, but after Xia Li hurt Casey Catanzaro really bad due to referee stoppage, Xia Li won the matchup, and then she says that Kaden Carter is next. Cameron Grimes tried a third time, and with the stagehand, succeeded and punched the stagehand's lights out. Because Ted DiBiase gets my grits. Cameron Grimes. Oh, that guy. And then Killian Dane and Drake Maverick had a matchup with the Grizzled Young Veterans, with the GYV ended up winning and hurting Maverick in the process. Like I said, in 2 weeks from this past Wednesday, it will be Shirai and Storm for the NXT Women's Championship. Legado del Fantasma finally arrives, and Cross attacks Legado del Fantasma, which puts the match, the no disqualification match, on. The two were beating the heck out of each other. But meanwhile, Dane and Maverick were asking for a medic, and then Alexander Wolf confronted Killian Dane about how he used to be a monster. Yeah, the guys used to team up Insanity, but this is Imperium we're talking about now. Meanwhile, that street fight match was going on, and Karrion Kross did end up picking up the victory. Then LA Knight addressed the NXT Universe about when he's going to make his debut, and LA Knight says he calls the shots. Adam Cole tried to explain himself why he kicked Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. Roderick Strong comes out, confronts him about it. Finn Balor came out, but he wasn't in the mood to hear Cole. They started brawling, and then afterwards, Roderick Strong tried to console Cole, say, hey, man, brother, I love you and all that. But then Adam Cole low blow Strong and attacks him as well. So, could be the end of the Undisputed Era. First Kyle O'Reilly, now Roderick Strong. But then Adam Cole says he is the Undisputed Era. Interesting. Okay, now, let's go to this past Thursday afternoon NXT. Xia Brookside went one-on-one with Nia Samuels, with the loser has to be the personal assistant for the winner for 1 month. Xia Brookside picked up the upset victory over Nina Samuels, and now Nina Samuels is getting a dose of her own medicine. Meanwhile, Trent Seven was on the road to the Cruiserweight Championship documentary, how he keeps on working out to lose weight. Ilya Dragunov was interviewed, but then interrupted by Sam Gradwell and challenged him to a matchup. And Dragunov says he accepts, so that match is happening next week. Tyler Bate went on one-on-one with Bailey Matthews, with Bate picking up the victory. Now, Bailey Matthews is the son of legendary WWE superstar William Regal. Just to let you know that. And there's a newcomer from Germany coming to NXT UK, known as Metahan. I don't know what name he'll be by then, but it's Metahan, Metehan. If you check out his Twitter handle, that's what is Metahan. Joseph Connors was interviewed, then interrupted by Piper Niven, and then Joseph Connors did get slapped across the face by Piper Niven. Ginny was brawling, and then Sid Scala's like, "You can't be doing this," and all that. And Niven wants a match, and then he says, "I can't put you against those two." And then all of a sudden, she grabs Jack Stars. Says, "He's my partner." So that match is happening. Lana Austin went one-on-one Ava Valkyrie, and Valkyrie did pick up the victory, still undefeated. And then Zaya Brookside was interviewed after her win, but Nina Samuels had to grab all those suitcases, and she's not happy. Not happy. Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams were interviewed about the main event, which was the NXT UK Tag Team title on the line, Gallus versus Pretty Deadly. And Amir Jordan says, "We're looking forward to the matchup, see what happens." Both gentlemen, it seems like something's going on with Kenny Williams. We don't know what, but we'll find out in weeks' time. The NXT UK Tag Team titles on the line. Gallus Boys on top. Not Joe Coffey suffered injuries during his matchup with Rampage Brown, so he had to sit out this one. As Wolfgang and Mark Coffey went at it with Pretty Deadly, Lewis Howley and Sam Stoker. It was a heck of a matchup, but Lewis Howley and Sam Stoker took advantage of Wolfgang's emotions, and it got the best of him as they lost the tag team titles. Pretty Deadly on the new NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Yes, boy. So Pretty Deadly on top. That's what it is. P-Dot. P-Dot. Pretty Deadly on top. P-Dot. Let me tell you something. P-Dot that. You know what I'm saying? So Pretty Deadly, congratulations. Lewis Howley, Sam Stoker, you guys rock. Okay. And now let's go to last night's another Elimination Chamber fallout. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Paul Heyman arrive at the Thunderdome. They were talking about how it was dominant. They were dominant, but then Daniel Bryan interrupts Roman Reigns and challenges Reigns to a matchup for FastLane, but Jey Uso interrupts and attacks Daniel Bryan. Edge is talking about talk to Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce, which a tag team matchup with Edge and Daniel Bryan to team up against Jey Uso and Roman Reigns was off the table, so they had the matchup with Jey Uso and Daniel Bryan. If Daniel Bryan wins, he gets a shot at the Universal title over at FastLane. And then Jey Uso and Roman Reigns were talking about the thing, and Roman Reigns says, "Now you get to finish the job." So, and then Edge once again was discussing the whole thing, the Universal title picture with Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, and so they made the match. Rey and Dominic Mysterio won some retribution against the Alpha Academy, and which the Alpha Academy did win. It looks like a new aggressive side of Otis comes out. I wonder how Mandy Rose feels about this. After all, this is all this Miz's fault. The Miz has been a crybaby since day one. The Miz is nothing but a love child, fond much bill of Mr. Edge. If it had not been for the Miz, I don't think this would have happened. But unfortunately, Miz, he's to blame for it. He's to blame for on Chad Gable too. Apollo Crews went one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura, but he talked about how he embraces heritage. He is of Nigerian descent. Which is really huge, and that could play a role for him in his quest to become Intercontinental Champion after taking out Big E. Big E's convalescing right now. We'll find out when he is coming back. And then when Shinsuke Nakamura came out and interrupted him, Crews attacked Shinsuke Nakamura, but Crews did pick up the victory over Shinsuke Nakamura, but puts him one step closer to that Intercontinental title victory. And then Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, we're talking about the main event. He says the match is on. Liv Morgan went one-on-one with Tamina, and Tamina, ever since joining forces with Natalya, they both were sick and tired of being disrespected, and they sent that message loud and clear, with Tamina picking up the victory over Liv Morgan. Bianca Belair was talked to out on the Thunderdome by Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce to find out who she will face. But then Reginald is an idiot. Stop interrupting. We need an answer. I think Carmella's got that whole main event all screwed up. I can see what happens. So and then Sasha Banks comes out and rides to the Thunderdome, and then Bianca Belair chose Sasha Banks. A lot of history in the making in that matchup at WrestleMania. So SmackDown will main event WrestleMania this year, as the WrestleMania goes for 2 nights, April 10th, the 11th, and the 11th. It will be Edge versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title, and Sasha Banks defends the SmackDown Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. That's going to be a lot of history in the making there. And then Sami Zayn, talk about the matchups. And King Corbin's been annoyed by Sami Zayn's documentary crew. The Street Profits went in a tag team match against Sami Zayn and King Corbin, with Street Profits picking up the victory. And the Dirty Dogs, the tag team champions, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, were looking on, mocking the Street Profits. And I'll tell you one thing right now. King Corbin, I hope for his sake that he just dumps Sami Zayn like a bad habit, because I think King Corbin knows he deserves better. Caleb Braxton interviewed Daniel Bryan about his matchup tonight against Jey Uso. Edge talks to Daniel Bryan. He said none of this matters unless I beat Jey Uso. Then we'll talk about what we have to talk about. Seth Rollins then addresses his letter about embracing the vision, and Cesaro interrupted Rollins, but Cesaro was not in the mood to talk. He wants to fight. And then all of a sudden, Rollins tried to talk to him, and Cesaro grabbed him and did a Cesaro swing, swung him out of his jacket. Funniest thing in the world. And I'll tell you what, Seth Rollins shouldn't have opened up your mouth. So that's what happens. Daniel Bryan went one-on-one with Jey Uso. A double countout. Bryan does not get his shot, but he didn't lose either. But Roman Reigns attacks Daniel Bryan. That could provoke a title shot. And 205 Live also from last night. Mansoor and Kurt Stallion versus Everrise. And thanks to the Bollywood boys being morons as usual, Mansoor and Stallion did pick up the victory over Everrise. I see Everrise in the Bollywoods down the road, man. Let me tell you. August Gray went one-on-one with Tony Nese, but August Gray recruited Jake Atlas to watch his back as Nese has Davari. But August Gray did pick up the victory over Tony Nese. And that is the WWE Wrestling Roundup from February 21st to the Elimination Chamber to February 27th of this year. And that's the last roundup of the month of February. As you know, we're heading into March 1st. Main event for that matchup this Monday, it will be Miz Lashley WWE Championship. That will be a matchup for sure. And then also you got the WWE Network next month moving over to Peacock. I think I have Peacock for free because, being an Xfinity Comcast customer, I think we get it for free because Comcast is connected with NBC Universal. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see what else is on. My birthday is next Saturday. I'm going to be doing probably a birthday special. Not so sure. We'll find out for sure what's up. Because it is my day off. And according to what I'm seeing weather-wise, I don't have to worry about any snowstorms or anything like that. Well, you never know for sure what the heck is going on. So we got that. So this is episode number 70 of WEML-TV, channel 77 complete. The WWE Roundup from February 21st to February 27th of February 26th of this week. So next week will be March, man. I'm telling you. We got one more day of February, and that will be tomorrow. February 28th, so it is the shortest month of the year, February is, so I'm totally excited about that. So we're heading into March. Sometimes the winter season, sometimes the winter weather can go a little bit more of the rainy side than the snowy side, but we're still on the cool side, that's just fine, that's just fun. The cool side, no problem. As long as we don't go another polar vortex and crap, I think we'll be all right. But then again, the weather people will get it all wrong, and we end up getting 80, 90-degree weather. I think one time I think it was when my friend's funeral, my friend Mark Supernut's funeral that I attended. It was pretty hot out. I think it was like 80-some-odd degrees at that. I think when we had held it outside. So. But before, speaking of funerals, I got a little funny story to tell. I know funerals are not supposed to be funny, but on the way home from work, I decided, I'm sick and tired of taking the highway. Highways are boring. Taking the same old route's boring when it comes to driving home from work. So I took the longer route home. Went all the way around Bunch Corner Road, over River Road, and I decided to take Tocklin Hill Road. And heading to a little bit into a cushion. I wanted to go for Haven via that way. So as I was heading into the Acushnet, where my pastors used to live, I was 2 or 3 cars behind a funeral procession. I was like, when I saw the traffic slowing up, I'm like, what's going on? Around, Tarkland Hill and Acushnet Avenue. The traffic was kind of slowing up, and I saw a few cars, 2 or 3 cars. I was 2 or 3 cars behind a funeral procession. I saw some cars, 2 or 3 cars ahead of me, that had their hazard lights on. So, okay, it's a funeral procession, and I know there was a cemetery right where I was going. I said, okay. Nope. While I was heading, I was like, okay, yeah, okay. But then I was listening to my to a station that plays 70s, 80s, and 90s music called Big 101.3. And as I was, just bopping the music, just everything else, and all of a sudden, Queen's Another One Bites the Dust plays while I am 2 or 3 cars behind this funeral procession. And as they were heading into the cemetery, I'm like, I am going to lower this before someone goes all out Karen on me and starts yelling at me for being disrespectful. So this was pure irony. This has happened, but I didn't intend to do this on purpose or anything like that. I better lower it quickly, before somebody overhears. Somebody has, because who knows? Somebody would have good ears, and if they see me blasting Another One Bites the Dust and all that, and then see me dancing, they'll probably think, "Oh, this guy must hate this guy. I'm going to go out and confront him." And or think about saying, did I hear you say Another One Bites the Dust? I think, don't worry about it. I think someone just lowered it. I think they're realizing where they at. So it's like, okay, that's okay, crazy and creepy and all that good stuff. But once I got out of there, I turned back on the radio. The song was over by then, thank God. No, the song was still going when I went on Main Street in Acushnet, and then I turned it, and I was away from the cemetery and from the funeral procession. I turned it back up, so it was like, it was crazy, so to say the least. Now that's craziness happening. The Galleria has been demolished. You can see my blog on the Galleria and how much a good time I had with it. So, also today is Saturday, so we're gonna see. You're expecting to see more Saturday Superstar Arcade videos. You'll be getting that. So, could be, I'll probably play a couple games from the Sega Saturn. So, Sega Saturn Day? Cheesy enough. Alright, I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you on the next episode, episode 71. This is Eric Lima. You're watching WEML-TV, channel 77. Peace, love. I'll see you in the next episode.